coming up.
We believe that it's critically important to market an animal for a price or a method that keeps our clients in business.
We truly know the genetics of the cow and not just who the sire and dam were, and we can really narrow down to our customers and say, all right, where do you want to take this herd?
Learn all about the Motherlode and what that means for your cattle herd next on The American Rancher. Hello, I'm Pam Minnick, and welcome to our 20th season of The American Rancher. Just outside the small town of Ideal, South Dakota, is one of the largest Angus seedstock operations in the world, Jorgensen Land and Cattle. Jorgensen genetics have found their way into almost every corner of the U.S. and have a heavy influence on the Angus breed. Coming in September, a large set of females from the Jorgensen's Motherlode program will be sold that will advance your program almost overnight.
Jorgensen Land and Cattle is a very diversified family, and I'm the fourth generation. My son, who is currently involved with the operation, will be the fifth. My great-grandfather and great-grandmother homesteaded here in 1909, and then from there, my grandpa, Martin Jorgensen, kind of took things over.
Getting into the 1940s and 50s, the farming operation grew a little bit. They started raising commercial cattle as well, and then in the late 1950s, early 1960s is when Martin started breeding registered Angus cattle.
We did merchandise Charolais bulls, and we have been in the Simmental business, but we ended up staying with Angus because Angus creates the trouble-free female. On top of that, all of the different carcass characteristics and the explosive growth that we have in our cattle today, it was really an easy decision for us to go forward with Black Angus.
Back then, my understanding of the industry was, you picked your genetics based on the show ring. Animals that won ribbons and won banners at cattle shows were the bulls that you used. And so Grandpa was doing that, and he found very quickly he wasn't getting the actual performance on the ranch that he wanted, right? He thought he could do better. So what Martin did, and what Martin was extremely good at throughout his career, was surrounding himself with people that could help him achieve his goals, right? And they set about breeding better cattle than they could buy. And what he started to find in pretty short order was that he and his team could, in fact, breed better cattle than they could buy. He and his brother, Don, they were in business together through the 1970s. Around then, 1970s, 1980s, my Uncle Greg, who would have been the third generation, came back from college, came back to the operation, followed about 10 years later by my dad, who also came back from college, started to run the farming side of the operation. Cody came back from school in the late 1990s to run the livestock side of the operation. Then I graduated from South Dakota State in 2014. I came back. And so currently the ownership structure is Brian and Greg, who are third generation, and then Nick and Cody, who are fourth generation.
The Angus business is currently our widget, and we're merchandising well over 6,000 Angus bulls on an annual basis. When our family looks at an acre of land, there's three things that we want to be able to do on that acre. One would be we want to be able to farm it like it needs to be farmed, no-till practices. We want to keep soil health in mind. That's very, very important to our family. We provide feed for all of the bulls. We raise all the feed, so consequently we farm around 15,000 acres. And so farming it with the right practice is one of the three things. The second thing that we would like to be able to do on that acre of property is to be able to graze it sometime throughout the course of the year, the same acre, farm it and then be able to graze it, right? The third thing, which I think is really interesting, is to be able to do some sort of what I call agritainment, which you've probably heard me say that before. I don't know that that's even a word, but being able to hunt pheasants or doing some sort of production agricultural entertainment, I think we're blessed to be in an area that has wild pheasants. So we also run a hunting lodge and a guided pheasant service full package hunt in the fall. There are tons and tons of operations that can perhaps do one or two of those things really well on an acre, but it's really rare for an operation to do three things. And we really believe that that is what is going to be viable for the future, and that is why we are now starting our 5th generation.
After the break,
We truly know the genetics of the cow, and we truly know the genetics of the available bulls we have, and we can really narrow down to our customers and say, all right, where do you want to take this herd?
take the guesswork out of matching top Angus genetics to your herd when the American Rancher continues. Welcome back to the American Rancher. Over the course of 6 decades, the Jorgensen family from Ideal, South Dakota, developed Angus performance genetics into the benchmark of the industry. The Jorgensens excel at matching their customers' herds with the precision and efficiency of genomics, giving you the flexibility to take your cow herd any direction that you want.
My grandfather, I think, taught our family being diversified is critical in South Central South Dakota. When they started their operation, they were diversified. What we've done is we've taken the diversity and really honed in on Angus cattle and feeding them and creating efficiencies by feeding our own cattle, using our own land to create these magnificent animals.
I really feel that's where we are today. It's kind of like a dial on a radio. We're really just fine tuning, right? But not only that, then we also have DNA to help us along the way.
So ultimately, we have just as much, and in almost every case, more information on these commercial bulls than a lot of purebred seed stock producers will have.
We believe that it's critically important to market an animal for a price or a method that keeps our clients in business, right? Leasing historically has gotten kind of a bad rap, so to speak, because a lot of the programs that have leased bulls before were just putting bulls together. Now these bulls are different because they come from a genetic backbone. They've all been DNA tested. We know a lot about these bulls, and so to offer a product through a leasing option is tremendously valuable to our customers. You know, leasing a bull, let's just say leasing a bull where there's just not a lot of winter feed resources. It doesn't matter if you're in Cherry County or in Ohio, for every bull you winter, if you look at opportunity cost, you probably could be running 2 more cows. And so having the ability to lease a bull, to me, is extremely valuable and very efficient. Our leasing option is one really good option where it doesn't take a lot of cash outlay to get your genetic needs. To take that another step, even in our marketing approach, we believe that it's important for our customers to have the same kind of efficiencies. Even, you know, if that's with genetics, that's great. Our ability to study their cow herd through our IBG system and create the efficiency of putting together a bull battery for their needs and their uses, that is a tremendous efficiency that they don't normally would have access at any other seed stock.
And so we come to our customers and say, well, why don't you genomically test your females? We can get all the same information that we would have on these bulls, and we can make decisions like a seed stock producer would make, where we know the genetics of the cow, truly know the genetics of the cow, and not just maybe who the sire and dam were. We truly know the genetics of the available bulls we have, and we can really narrow down to our customers and say, all right, where do you want to take this herd?
The genetics portion of Jorgensen Land and Cattle is the ideal beef genetics. What that encompasses is both the ideal beef evaluation, which is our custom evaluation that we have developed for our herd, and then testing commercial heifers through Zoetis's Inherit Select, and of course our ideal beef evaluation, so that we can identify the cattle that we need to move forward with, but more importantly, how we match bulls to the females for our customers. the lease customers that lease our bulls or the customers that buy our bulls out of our sale, we like to go in and we will test commercial females. What that does, it gives us a genetic component to their herd to where we can identify the strong points of those females and also the weak points. What that then gives us the opportunity to do is discuss with the customer, what do you want the calves out of these heifers to do? What do you want these females to do for you in the future? Then we identify those needs. Then I can go to our bull battery and our selection process, and we can identify the bulls that are going to best fit the needs for that customer to create those calves that they want to sell. We have 18 different traits that we focus on. With genetics and genomics, we can identify those cattle as calves in the selection process and then do the matings for that first calf to literally take 2 to 3 generational intervals off of that heifer's process in becoming a cow.
We are then able to take that information and tailor a set of bulls for that customer that can create whatever kind of calf they desire or whatever kind of calf the market might desire. And so to me, that is a tremendous efficiency for them.
And the other thing that we like to stand behind with that genetic evaluation is we have full control of that evaluation about how and when the data gets submitted. And what that offers us the ability to do is make sure that it's right? We have complete control over the quality of the data going into that evaluation. Where you look at other breed associations, they don't have that ability for oversight, right? And so you get bad actors. Unfortunately, you do. You get bad actors that submit bad data, and what that inherently does is decreases the integrity of those predictions coming out of those evaluations. What we can stand behind is we have full faith and trust in those predictions that come out that they're as accurate as they could possibly be, because we control that data. We work with Zoetis; they do a phenomenal job. And so once again, these bulls do not carry registration number, but they are everything but registered.
The reporting that we do, we can get down on the individual animal basis. I mean, get down on the ground level in the weeds saying, okay, we've got 100 head of heifers. Here's 10 heifers that are really good. They do exactly what we want. All we have to do is mate them, AI, if we're going to use AI, we mate them to the bull that we want. The next set of heifers, let's say there's another 25 to 30 heifers, we need to fix their weaning weight. We want to add some weaning weight, or we want to add some milk, or whatever the case may be. And we can go in with a different AI bull and AI that set of heifers to where their calves are just as good as our top tier heifers. And then the rest of the heifers, we can fix whatever we need. But the ultimate goal is to make all the calves as even as possible, both genetically and phenotypically. We're really putting science behind the selection of these replacement heifers versus just our eye or a scale or in and out at the day of sorting when we're shipping those cattle. We would like to test the entire calf crop if we get the opportunity to. It gives us insight to what those steers are going to do, gives us a better ability to market those steers or help market those steers for our customers. And then on the heifer side, it just opens up a tremendous amount of opportunity for replacement heifer selection, the retention, but then it also gives us another opportunity to market those bred heifers that they don't need. So we're going to breed 100 head of heifers, maybe we only need to keep 50. We've got 25 extra that we can help our customers sell those calves. We offer a cattle listing program and a buyback program to where we can assist in the marketing of both those feeder calves, the bred heifers, open heifers, even pairs, cow-calf pairs, whatever the case may be. We really want to try to help our customers market their cattle and benefit the most that they can from our genetics. The purpose of genomics is to make our customers' job easier. For years, we go into a heifer replacement pen, and the first thing we do is we pull out the biggest and best heifers. They may not be the most profitable. They might not be the ones that we need to move forward with. So with genomics, given enough time, we can get the data to you prior to weaning, prior to selection, and we can sort those heifers early on to help you make the best decisions possible. The beauty of this program is, there's input from everybody throughout the system. It's not what we think is the right thing to do. It's about what's going to work for our customers, because we send cattle across the United States, from Florida to California to North Dakota to Texas. So everybody's selection process and everybody's environment is different. So they know their cattle better than we do when it comes to environment. So we try to match environment and genetics and genomics and phenotype to that cow herd to make the best cattle possible. Genomics just gives us the leg up because it is science-based. There is no doubt about it. We're taking the emotion out of the selection process, and we're putting science behind the selection to make better cattle quicker from the test. But if you increase your weaning weight by 10 pounds at $3 a pound, you more than paid for the test. So it's an investment in your cow herd, but when you look at it long term, life of that cow is 8 to 10 years old. So let's get her through the first 2 years, make sure she has a calf on the ground, and make sure she's going to be profitable throughout her lifetime.
And so we can help pick better females, we can help pick better bulls, and what does that lead to? I think if you look at the American Angus Association today, it's something like 93 or 94% of all cattle registered through that association will have a pedigree that at some point touches ideal. Whether it was a bull owned by Martin or Greg or Cody, or it was a bull bred by one of those three. So big influence in the Angus breed. That is what supports our bull marketing program, is that well-known, solid reputation in the breed.
Up next.
The strategy behind the Motherlode project is to create cows that create bulls that make good cows.
Females out of the genomically tested Motherlode herd are on the block this September. Get the details when the American Rancher continues. Welcome back to the American Rancher. Ranked by Beef Magazine as the #1 seller of Angus bulls in America, Jorgensen Land and Cattle perfected a genomics program that matches ideal genetics to the goals of your herd. In September, the Jorgensens will be offering a large set of genomically tested females out of their Motherlode program. The Motherlode is renowned for over 10 generations of balanced, maternally focused selection, which has led the Jorgensens to be the most sought-after supplier of Angus females in the country.
There are 3 statuses of cows within our cow herd. We have a very, very extensive embryo transfer program, so one status would be a recip. The second status would be a varsity status. And varsity status is a cow that is up and coming. She may be above average in several traits. She just hasn't made that status to become elite, which is our third status. An elite cow is a cow that we have pulled embryos from. She's a cow that has proven herself in many different genetic challenges. She's a cow that we're going to go forward with from a genomic standpoint. The varsity set of cows, they're competing against each other to become an elite cow, right? And so it's really nice to have a large pool of cows that are above average in specific traits, and it allows us to get a little bit of genetic diversity in our elite status. The strategy behind the Motherlode project is to create cows that create bulls that make good cows. Does that make sense? So one might say, hey, you guys market more Angus bulls than anybody in the industry. Why are you so crazy about the female? It's always been taught to me that if we get the cow piece right in this industry, on any ranch, if you got good cows, you could breed them to anything, right? And so that's really what we're set out to do. We're set out to breed excellent females. Our Motherlode sale is really exciting. This will be our third one that we have, and it's just it's a true blessing to be able to offer these genetics to public auction. I'm really proud of what we're doing. I'm really proud of the Motherlode strategy. I really believe that this is a unique offering of cows that you probably won't see across the nation. This is a set of cows that has had genetic selection put on it for many, many years. We put a lot of discipline into this cow herd. And if there are mistakes made, it affects a lot of cattle down the road. And so I'm proud to say that we just can't afford to make mistakes. Therefore, the cows that we offer in this offering are a product of that, right? And I really believe that it's a really strong set of cows, and I'm excited to offer them to auction. At the sale in September, you're going to expect to see a set of cows that are extremely uniform. They are extremely line bred, which is unique across our nation. They are a set of cows that have had generations and generations of disciplined genetic selection put on them, which I think is also a little bit rare in our industry. The sale will be at our hunting lodge, the Lazy J Grand Lodge, and we'll have everything set up here, so you'll be able to see the videos on every female. We will have all of the genetic information for you, a couple weeks prior to the sale. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call our office or even myself, and we'd be happy to oblige.
We hope you enjoyed this look at Jorgensen Land and Cattle. To find out more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or connect with us on Facebook or YouTube. I'm Pam Minnick. For our entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.